Mr. Mouse Knitting Podcast. My name is Holly, and I'm coming to you from Colorado, where I live with my husband and our 5 kids and our many pets. And today is Saturday, July 13th. And thank you for joining me today. This is mostly a knitting podcast. I do have a little bit of cross stitch to talk about today, and a little bit about my hand-dyed yarn shop, Mystery Mouse Yarn Company, a shop update, and a little bit of book talk. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, thank you so much for joining me. So first of all, if you didn't know, this is Shark Week. So it's the second to last day of Shark Week. I mean, I hope I get this podcast up before the end of the day. But of course, I have no idea when you will be watching this. But today, Saturday, the 13th, is the day before the last day of Shark Week. So I want to show you my Shark Week project. This is a knitting challenge put out by Politically Incorrect Knitters, where you have to knit a project from start to finish within the Shark Week dates. And if you do not finish your project, you have to rip it all out because the shark got you. So I'm trying to challenge myself. Last year I did a hat, and it was still kind of a challenge. I didn't finish till the last day, but I thought this year I would do something a little harder, and I decided to try to knit a ranunculus. Now the ranunculus pattern, a bazillion people have already made it. It's a really interesting pattern because it's a yoked sweater, and the yoke is all one size, and then there's raglan increases after the yoke. And I've just recently heard some people talking about it. Emily of Woldenburn has made a couple of these sweaters, and I'm sure many other people have. I noticed, and I was watching Molly of a Homespun House, and I noticed she was wearing one of her videos. So anyway, here is my sweater. I will show you where I am. I'm trying to find the front of it. So this is knit in my Shark Week colorway, Sunken Treasure. So you can see the lace. It's really pretty. It needs to be blocked, of course. It has not been blocked. And then underneath is the raglan shaping. So once I had finished the yoke, it's kind of like you don't pick your size until you finish the yoke. Well, I mean, I suppose you could pick it whenever you want, but it doesn't really matter. When it matters is when you split for the sleeves. So what I noticed is that the larger sizes gave you more body stitches and fewer sleeve stitches, and then you just keep increasing until you have enough stitches both on the body and the sleeve, you know. I was gonna knit like a size 3 or size 4, but then I thought, well, I don't want poofy sleeves. I want tighter fitting sleeves. So maybe I will pick a larger size, because I thought the yoke was pretty deep already. It goes down to here. And I knew, because this is very loosely knit, it's on size 10 needles, and I'm doing this with DK weight yarn. It's not exactly like transparent, but it is, oh, you can't even tell, but it is very loose for me. I think I tend to be a tighter knitter. I don't know. So I knew that and this is superwash, of course, so I know that if I block it, it's going to grow. So I was trying to be careful. I didn't want to end up with a huge Annex sweater. But I decided to pick a larger size so I could have a smaller sleeve and then maybe not do all the increases. So I just tried it on. And when I thought the yoke was deep enough, I sort of did some like more increases on the sleeve to get the sleeve to be big enough. And I did not increase on the other side of the raglan marker for the body. Also, when I split for sleeves, I put 4 more stitches in the front than I put in the back, because my front is much larger than my back. And I always end up, if I do them equally, I always end up with way too much fabric on my back, and it just annoys me. So I don't know if that will make a huge difference, but I wanted to do something. So anyway, I have knit the first sleeve. I'm just doing short sleeves. So I just knit kind of a, I don't know, an 1.5 or 2 inch cuff. And then I started the other one this morning. So I've knit maybe 1/2 inch or so of the cuff of this one. And I'm knitting the cuffs on size 8. I have a little 12 inch circular. I think it's a Zing circular. And the rest of the body I knit with a size 10. I have here some little stitch stoppers. These are from Susan of Delightful Work. She gave me these. I find them very useful. It's so funny because I lost them. Well, they were in a project bag somewhere. I didn't have them for a long time. And then I found them again, and I'm so glad. I really need to get some more stitch stoppers because they're very handy. So I think I have knit, oh goodness, I'm not good at measuring with I have knit this much since the sleeve. And I just held it up to some of my other more cropped sweaters and measured it. And it's longer than those sweaters are already. So I think once I finish this other sleeve, I'll probably do a couple more rounds and then I will start the ribbing because I have to have this done by, I think, like 10 o'clock for me, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Well, no, it's midnight Eastern time because it's midnight. But the day ends at midnight, whatever, you know what I'm saying. It's 10 o'clock my time because I'm in Colorado. So I just need to do the ribbing, but I want to do a significant amount of ribbing. I'm not going to just do a little bit. Probably 1 inch or 2, maybe 2 inches of ribbing. So, but I'm gonna make it. I'm so excited. So you don't have to have your project blocked or ends woven in, which is a good thing. But I think it will be very nice. I have tried it on and it is oversized, so that's good because there's supposed to be a lot of, I mean, you can kind of wear it with however much positive ease you want. So I was kind of aiming for a slightly more relaxed, oversized sweater. So we shall see. But I am very, very excited, and I've been using my bag from Delightful Works, and my sweater barely fits in there because I've got about 2.5 skeins of yarn in it now. And this is what I have left. I'm doing helical knitting throughout the body, and then I have a little ball for my sleeve also. And I think I have a little bit more yarn from the 3rd skein that I did not wind up because I just was winding it by hand and I just wound off a little bit for the sleeves and then I left it. So then I have a whole nother skein because I dyed myself 4 skeins. So I think I'm gonna see if I have enough to make maybe a little pullover for a Grady. I think that would be cool. This would be a great color for him, little boy. So I'm really enjoying that, and it's really interesting because this is the only thing I have worked on. And of course, at first it was really fun. You're doing the yoke and it's interesting and all that. And then about day 4, I started looking at my other projects, or dreaming, even worse, dreaming of things I had not yet cast on, and just, I don't know, longing for something else to knit. But you know what this just showed me? I mean, I know this is a special case because of its being size 10 needles and all that, but I can knit a sweater in 8 days. So you know what this means? I could knit like my mom, a Christmas sweater or a ranunculus, you know, in 8 days if I really wanted to. I mean, it's a little bit eye-opening to me, but I definitely needed that pressure of you have to get this done or you have to rip it out, because I do not want to rip it out. So anyway, because I look at all my other sweaters that have been on the needles for like almost a year and a half, who knows how long. And it's just making me realize, well, the reason you're not getting those things done is because you're not working on them all the time. So anyway, I guess I needed to know that. Before Shark Week started, I did work a little bit on my Mau Mau socks. This is yarn by Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. And I think I started the foot since I talked to you last. It's a little stitch marker. That's so cute. It's a little stitch marker by oh, what's the name? Random Fandom, that's what it's called. It's a little gooseberry goose from Strawberry Shortcake. It's made out of clay and it's so tiny. It's so tiny. And so it's one of my favorite little things, perfect for the summer. So anyway, these are socks for my husband. Like I was saying, I started the foot right here. So I have a ways to go. He's about a men's size 12 foot. But I'm really loving using this yarn. Really, really loving it. And it feels like it's going fast, so that's nice. And this is in a bag by Stolen Minutes. Okay, I did have a new cast on. This was also before Shark Week, so I'm being good. Okay, but I was sick, I don't know, a month or two ago, and I wound up a bunch of yarn because I was too sick to do anything else. And I wound up this yarn. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. It has a crazy name. It sounds kind of Japanese. But it is a really cool tweedy yarn. It's kind of a slow color change yarn, I think. And I want to make the Spark sweater by, I'm not sure who it's by. It's in the Colorwork Bible book. So, and I'm kind of reversing the colors. So theirs starts out with like a variegated, and then they have white for the contrast. So I'm doing it the other way, and I'm using this white as my initial color. And all I've really done is the what you call it? The neckband. All I've really done is the neckband and some short row shaping, I think. And this is knit on crazy tiny needles. It's supposed to be DK, and I think this might be bigger, like fatter than DK. This is Bare Muse from Knit Picks, because I was trying to get something that had this type of yarn construction, because this is a plied yarn, but they're all plied in the same direction, so it's like a single, you know what I'm saying? Like there's different colors in here. There's barber poling, but it's kind of like a Noro yarn where everything's just spun together, and so it's like a big single, I think. So so I got this Muse, and I think this might be Aran weight. So this is a very firm neckline, but I am not knitting it on the size needles they say, because they have kind of a normal gauge, like a DK gauge. Should have brought the pattern with me, but they're using like size 2 needles and size 3 needles. That is not going to give me a normal DK gauge. So probably this person is just a very loose knitter, and I am not. But anyway, it has a twisted ribbing neckline, which is the same as the Ranunculus, or similar. They have a twisted rib. So anyway, I am kind of hoping, I'm knitting this with size 6s, and I'm kind of hoping that this is not going to feel like it's too tightly knit, because I'm not sure if I should go up a needle size, like, and then knit also with this yarn, which I think is a little thinner, you know? Does anybody have any thoughts about that? And this is a very wide neckline, but I kind of like wide necklines. I know a lot of people, they don't like big necklines and sweaters, but I will probably be wearing this over like a turtleneck or a collared shirt. I love to wear a collared shirt, like a denim shirt or something like that. So that does not bother me at all. In fact, I kind of prefer it. So anyway, that is the Spark sweater, and I haven't touched it since Shark Week began. And I kind of wanted it to be like a Christmassy sweater, but the colors are not very Christmassy. It's more like a winter, like snowflake, January kind of sweater. But anyway, this is also in a bag by Susan of Delightful Works, which I love. And I thought it was perfect for this, because even though Like I said, it's not Christmassy colors, but neither is this, and it's still very Christmassy. So that is that. I have worked a little bit on a cross stitch. So this is in this bag. I think this is just a commercial bag one of my friends got me a long time ago, because I used to be a big cross stitcher before I became a knitter. So I am making this Spirit of America angel. So you can see this is just the pattern picture. She is 3D though. She has this is like the main angel, and then her wings are in the back, and this little garland she's holding is in the front. So it's very cool. It's very 3D. And I started this last July, I'm pretty sure, because I want to make this for a little tree topper. We put up a little, you know, like a 3-foot Christmas tree in one of our tables by our front door, and it's our like America table or America Christmas tree. So I wanted to use this for our tree topper. I think it's going to be so, so cute. So here's where I am so far. So I have gotten most of her little skirt done. So it's funny because I went to get the rest of the threads, and I think I got them all except for white. They were out of regular old DMC white. So that was annoying. And so anyway, there are some beads, which I have not done yet. I'll probably do those last because I'm a little scared of them. I've never done beads in cross stitch, I don't think. But anyway, there's some little roses down here. There's a white stripe here, and then this starts her blue dress. So this is stitched on perforated paper, which I really enjoy. It's flexible enough to feel comfortable, but you don't need a hoop or anything, which is really nice. And the holes are, you know, they don't move around, so they're very easy to see. And she's going to be a really good size, so she'll take up most of this paper. And then you get a little separate piece for the wings and the stars, and you cut those out and everything. So I started stitching this again on 4th of July because I was like, you know, it's 4th of July. I want to do something. I want to work on something patriotic. So I got that out again, and I got a lot done because I only had before, I think I only had like, let's see, I had the 2 cream stripes on each side done, and then I think 2 red stripes on each side. And so then I did this darker red and the very dark red, and I did this like kind of rosy pink that's in the middle. I just love how it looks. I highly recommend this designer. It's Brooke's Books, and she has also a bunch of free ornament patterns that are on her. If you look up Brooke's Books, you can find them, and they are adorable. I think they were supposed to be an advent, like, because they're numbered 1 through 24. But I made a couple for ornaments, and she has kits for these, which include the paper and the beads, and then you get your own thread, because you can use DMC, or there's something else, Anchor, or probably, I don't know what the other one is. Anyway, I'm just using DMC. So I'm gonna try to keep working on that because I would like to get it done, and I have really, really been wanting to cross stitch. Like, it's been bad. Like, while I'm doing my Shark Week knitting and wishing I could do other things, I've been like cheating on my project by watching Floss Tube and stuff like that. It's just so ridiculous, but I'm enjoying it. So I think I always get this urge when it gets hot to cross stitch and also to spin, and I've been wanting to spin, so I've also been looking longingly at my spinning wheel, which I haven't touched in a couple years. And I'm halfway through a braid of fiber that I would love to get back into, and I know it's Tour de Fleece and everybody's spinning it. Anyway, so I think that is all my projects that I have been working on. I have a couple of acquisitions. Let me show you. So I when I was feeling that need for patriotic stuff, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw that Chicken Lady had put this up. This is her grand old flag, and it's DK minis, tweed DK minis, and I love it. There's 3 blues and 3 reds, and it's so pretty. I would really like to make something for my husband with this, so we will see. I want to make him something. I have some DK tweed that I have not dyed yet. I might dye a really dark navy blue or something, and see if I could use that with this. I think it would look amazing. So that's one thing I got. And then I also got, because I was making an order anyway, I decided to go ahead and get a skein of the American Robin colorway. I love robins, and my maiden name is Robinson, and so whenever I see something that's robin themed, I always think of that. Probably because when I was in high school, one of the girls in my class drew a little picture of a robin and put my name under it and gave it to me. And I was like, oh, I never thought of that before, but so anyway, that's what it reminds me of. This is her Americana base, and I think it's a DK, 250 yards, superwash, 100% superwash merino, and this will probably end up being a hat or some color work. It's so fallish, isn't it? I think that's the other thing. I am just counting the days till fall. Okay, the only other acquisition that I wanted to tell you about was I went to a craft fair at my church. Actually I was helping out. We had a craft fair at my church to help raise money for our kids who are going to teen camp. And we had, there was a lady there who was doing adorable crochet amigurumi type things. So I got this little mushroom. Look at her. And she's crocheted. She's crocheted in that really nice Chanel yarn. So her name is Puddle. Yes, Puddle. And I also bought, this was crocheted by one of my friend's daughters. This is a little hanging plant. They called it Harry. So I've decided that Puddle, I'm gonna have to make her a little house somewhere in a bookshelf. And she is gonna be a houseplant enthusiast. And she likes rainy days. And she lives in the city because Ivy got one too. She got a little one with the red hat, you know, red mushroom. And so she named hers Dumpling. And she said she lives in the country. So anyway, we have a whole little thing going. It's very cute. So I have to find a place for those. Okay, so that's all the acquisitions. Now I have a little bit of shop news. I am going to have a shop update this coming Friday, July 19th at 12 p.m. Eastern. So what am I going to have in the shop update? Well, I am going to have my long anticipated Redwall collection for this summer. I'm going to call it Midsummer in Redwall. And I do not have any of those yarns to show you yet. I have been thinking about them and dreaming about them, and I will have to get them all ready by Friday, so you'll have to wait and see them then at the update. But I am going to have a very special kit that I'm doing in collaboration with Susan of Delightful Works and Elizabeth of EB&Co. And that is for this. So this is going to be an emotional support chicken kit. So I have dyed the yarn. I thought it would be kind of fun to do like a 90s emotional support chicken. So you have a more neutral main chicken color, which is kind of a black and brown with blue. And then we have some fun 90s colors, a purple, a teal, and a hot pink. And you get 20 grams of each of these colors. And then I will also include a little nugget of yellow and red, which will be enough to make these other parts of the chicken. You will get your safety eyes. I got these purple safety eyes, which I think are so cute. And you will have plenty of yarn left over if you want to attempt making another one. I don't know if it would be enough to make two. I would really like to see if someone would use the 3 colors for the tail section. I think that would be so pretty. I used my 3 colors also for the bottom piece, because you make this bottom piece separately and sew it in. So that would be a fun option. And I've seen all kinds of people do things, because you knit it up, these 2 tail feathers this way, and then you crochet or stitch them together, and you pick up stitches and you go this way. And there's just so many things you can do. You could just color block it. You could do more stripes than this. So I just did it the way that the pattern said. So the kit will include the yarn, which also includes little nuggets of the face yarn, the eyes. It will include a very cute bag by Susan. Look at this bag. The chickens are not just chickens, they're knitting chickens. I love this bag so much. So, and there's little baby chicks. Some of them are wearing glasses. So you get the bag, you get the yarn, and you get this adorable progress keeper by my friend Elizabeth of EB&Co. And this is a hand beaded stitch marker, so which is great because it weighs nothing. And it's so cute. So she put all the colors in of my chicken. So this can keep you company as you're knitting. And of course, this is what your bag will look like, pristinely packaged. So I hope that you will check out the shop update if you're in the market for an emotional support chicken kit. The only things that are not included are the stuffing and the pattern, but I will include a card with a QR code so that you can go directly to where you can purchase the pattern. But in case you already have the pattern or you know, something, I didn't want to have to buy a pattern for each one of these kits. So but I hope that you will check it out. That will be this Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And I hope you will check out the Midsummer and Redwall collection also. All right, so I have a little bit of book talk. Let me see. I just wanted to show you what I'm currently reading and talk about a few books also that I got at the library. Well, actually, almost all these books are from the library. I just started this book, To Say Nothing of the Dog. This author, I have talked about her before. She wrote a short stories of Christmas book, which I love, which I read all the time. I mean, I read it most Christmas times. And she's a sci-fi writer. And this book was published in 1998. So it feels a little 90s, but I don't hate that. I really like her writing. She's very funny, and I just think a good writer. And I don't really know what the story is about because I don't read the back of books. So I knew I wanted to read it, so I didn't even read the first page, which is what I usually do. So I just got it from the library and I jumped in. And evidently it is a futuristic time travel book. And they start out in the past and you have to figure out that they've time traveled and what they're trying to do. And the guy who is, you're in his head, you know, he's the main character or whatever. he's time traveled too much and is starting to show some signs of time travel lag or something, and he's kind of an unreliable narrator, which is interesting because I've been thinking about that a lot. I'm teaching a writing class at our co-op this coming semester, so I've been thinking a lot about things like unreliable narrators and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm just now starting to kind of really figure out what's going on, but I'm really enjoying it. And I mean, I am right here. So we'll see. But so far, I'm really enjoying that. I am also reading this, which I think this is kind of short stories. There you can see all my things reflected. This is in Christopher Fowler's Brian and May series, and I think this is just the most recent one that I haven't read yet. This was published in 2021. And I think it's more like strange facts about London and stuff like that, which he always includes in his mystery books, and which I find really fascinating. You know, in America, everything is new. Like, everything is about 200 years old. That's as old as it gets. And I mean, obviously back on the East Coast, but here, especially in Colorado, like if you have a house from like the 50s, that's an old house. I mean, the 1950s, you know? So every once in a while you'll see a house that's like from 1900 and it's like, ooh, everything is new here. So anyway, old things are fascinating, right? So I think this is kind of like a lot of the interesting old legends and tales, urban legends, things about the city of London. So I'm enjoying this also. I'm also, I keep not putting my page down, so I'm not sure where I am, but I'll have to find it. Now, I got this book at the library, and I put up a post on it about it on Instagram. This is called The Joy of Yarn, Your Stash Solution for Curating, Organizing, and Using Your Stash with 10 Knitting Patterns by Marie Green. And, you know, I'm doing Fluff Your Stash with Stephanie of Texas Peach Knits, who's running that, it's not really make-along, it's a fluff-along. Who's running that fluff-along? Anyway, and so I found this book and I was like, oh my goodness, this is perfect for people who are fluffing their stash, because she talks a lot about, you know, it's okay to have a stash. You don't need to do a yarn diet necessarily, but maybe a good idea would be to figure out the things you like to knit and the yarn you like to use and get that kind of yarn.
Mom.
Hi.
Mom.
Hi, Grady.
I took a nap.
You did. Here, come here. Okay. So anyway, she talks a lot about why we keep yarn that we don't feel like we can get rid of, or how to store your yarn so you know what you have, and just all kinds of different things like that. And I would highly recommend, if you are doing Fluff Your Stash also, that you check it out. She also has some patterns in the back that are great kind of stash busting patterns. She has like your one skein hat, which we all have one skein of that special yarn. So and it's really cute. It's really a cute little hat. And she's got like a simple mitten pattern that uses different weights of yarn. She has like a color theory. She's got some color theory in here. Anyway, so I just thought that I would mention that in case you are interested in doing something like that. And just as you know, I love mice and books about mice, because my name is Mystery Mouse Yarn Co. and all that. So I got this book from the library, Mice Skating, which I always forget. Okay, it's supposed to be like ice skating. It's not just mice skating. And this is the cutest book, and it is very knit centered. I mean, it has adorable illustrations. But look over here, there is a mouse knitting correctly in a book. Because you know how in books usually they put the needles down and they're like they're stirring. I think what it is that it's like crochet where you pull it through, but you're just kind of stirring with your needles. So I'm so impressed that this illustrator, Tegan White, did that the right way. Also, this is very cute because in the story, the little girl mouse, she goes outside while all her friends kind of hibernate and they don't want to go outside with her. She has a hat, and that gives her the ability to go outside, like a knitted hat. So she makes herself some ice skates, and I am such a sucker for illustrations like this where they take human-sized things and make them into little mouse-sized other things. I love that. So what she does is she makes hats for all her friends so that they can go outside with her. I mean, like, can you imagine giving this book to someone with a knitted hat? It would be perfect. So I'm probably gonna find this book and buy it at some point. I just wanted to tell you about it. It's so cute. And if, like me, you are dreaming of colder weather, this would be really nice to look at. The other book I wanted to talk about, this is not a library book, and I have been thinking about looking at this book again because, well, every time I go to the store and it's like hundreds of dollars more than it should be, or more than it was a couple years ago, it's discouraging. And I was thinking about this book because I read this. I got this from my mom, and she thinks it belonged to her mom. Now, my grandma was a very frugal person, as in, you know, she always cut coupons out. She always looked for sales. She never threw anything away. Not that she was a pack rat, but like if my grandpap, you know, wanted to throw away a shirt, she would cut off the buttons, you know, that sort of thing. That was just ingrained in her. So this is a book that's actually, I think, from the 80s. It's by this lady, Amy Decision. I think she says her name is pronounced Decision. And this is from a newsletter that she put out in the 80s. And it is just full of, let's see. It is just full of frugalness ideas. And I remember when we were going through a financial low point years ago when my two oldest sons were little, reading through this book and just feeling very inspired. And she talks about, you know, you don't necessarily need to be frugal because you're being stingy. Like, you can still be generous. She also talks about it's not necessarily about the money all the time. Sometimes it's just not being wasteful. And but I remember doing things like washing out Ziploc baggies and hanging them up. I had a snake plant right by my sink, so you know, the leaves of the snake plant were real stiff, so I'd wash out the baggies and then I would put them upside down to dry in the snake plant. So I haven't done that in a long time, but it might be time to go back to washing out baggies. I don't know. But I just thought, I saw this in a used bookstore one time, so I know that they're out there. So if you are interested in just feeling inspired to be frugal, and of course some of these things will be outdated, but you might get some good ideas. And I think more than anything, it's encouraging just to feel like, you know, people have done this before. It's not unheard of. It's not like this is the first time we've ever had a bad economy or whatever, or even just personally gone through a difficult time financially. I always think of, I think it's in Ramona and Her Father by Beverly Cleary, which is one of my favorite Ramona books. It always makes me cry. I don't know why, but how the dad loses his job and they have to save money. I think they just put an addition on their house or something. They have, you know, extra bills. And they didn't buy pickles anymore. She says, we can't afford to buy pickles. And I just remember feeling like, wow. I mean, when will I get to that point where I can't afford to buy pickles? Like, you know, like pickles, are pickles really a fun food? I mean, I don't love pickles to the extent that I can't live without them. But to say we can't afford to buy pickles, I just think it's a different mindset, you know? So if you just need a little bit of inspiration, I would recommend just getting this and reading through it and looking, maybe you'll get some good ideas. And especially if you have kids, I think it's good to show them, hey, we can try to be careful with our money, or we can try to do this instead of buying something, you know? So anyway, I think that is all I have for today. It's kind of a shorter episode, but I hope if you are doing Shark Week, you're going to beat the shark. Of course, somebody has to get bit by the shark because there is a prize for the person who gets bit by the shark. So, but anyway, I hope you all speedy knitting, and check out my shop update this Friday if you are interested, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.